Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR, HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Important in all things in beauty. Welcome to RadioAMB, designed for those who want to live a long and vibrant life. I'm Patty Schmucker, a licensed cosmetologist who's been in the beauty industry for over 40 years. RadioAMB stands for American-Made Beauty, and it's where we tell the secrets behind the making of health and beauty products. Our program sponsor is AmericanMadeBeauty.com. It's a beauty platform designed to help consumers find beauty companies that are implementing the industry's best practices to bring you quality products and services. Go to AmericanMadeBeauty.com and you can now purchase your favorite American-Made Beauty products. Today's guest is a woman that I've been delighted to have an opportunity to bring to you. Marlene Katz paved the way for holistic skincare and built a healthy business in the cosmetic industry. As a multi-spa owner with spas in New York, Philadelphia, Miami, Westport, and Fairfield, Connecticut, Marlene has a diverse clientele of women who have become her focus group and allowed for hands-on creation of Intelligent SkinSense products. Marlene launched one of the first day spas in 1980 in New York City. As a teen, Marlene had experienced rosacea that returned when she was in her 30s. This inspired Marlene to study the causes of skin sensitivities and the relationship that the environment and hormones play on the skin. She went on to become a licensed cosmetologist, licensed and certified in aesthetics, makeup, artistry, herbology, and aromatherapy. Her passion was in developing products, and in Marlene's first spa, she built a kitchen where her handmade concoctions were born. Marlene continued her studies in paramedical aesthetics and became specialized in lymphatic and microcurrent facial treatments. Later in her career, she spent 7 years working behind the scenes in a well-respected laboratory in product development before launching Intelligent SkinSense product line. So we'll hear from Marlene in the first half of our show. And in our second half of our show, you'll meet the unicorn poop glitter. Whatever you might call them, fake nails, false nails, press-on nails, nails, gloves, here's where you'll find the personality that hand paints made-to-order wearable art for every variety of style. So stay with us for the second half of our show. Now let's get started with our featured guest, Marlene Katz of Intelligent SkinSense. Welcome, Marlene. We're delighted to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Patty. I'm so happy to be here.
So, Marlene, you're starting out firsthand in owning your own spas. Tell us how your early start in the business.
Well, I actually got a start fresh out of school, just studying political science at Boston University. And I had an interest in exercise, so I started working out of a fitness center and got hired, part-time just to make ends meet while I was in school. And I was noticing that when people were exercising and then losing weight, they also were changing their image, but they weren't quite sure how to do it. And this was back, in the late 70s, early 80s. And I kept thinking to myself, there really needs to be a place where people can go for a complete image rehaul, as I called it at the time. And I couldn't find anything like that. I had moved to New York City, and, if you wanted to get your nails done, you typically would go into a hair salon. Facials were not something that people did routinely. There was a couple of places. I remember Christine Valmy was one of them where you could have a facial. But there was nothing like what we call today a day spa. And in my mind, I was seeing this. I thought, this would be great to have a place where you get everything done under one roof. And you could go in and you could work on your image. You could have your makeup done, your skin taken care of, your hairstyle changed, even do some body treatments, some relaxation treatments. And since I couldn't find it, I decided I had to create it. And so I launched what was called, at the time, I called it a salon spa. I couldn't think of a better term for it, you know?
Right.
And now it's really become the modern-day day spa.
And it sounds like you were one of the first in New York about really opening up this concept.
I was one of the first, and then I was located on the Upper West Side, directly across from the infamous Dakota, where John Lennon had lived and lots of other celebrities. And it really, you know, it was sort of like a lucky thing. I found the space, and I was quite young. I was in my early 20s, and, you know, sometimes what you don't know actually works for you. So just by accident, I found this great location. I had no idea that I was really in the mecca of where many of the celebrities, and there was CNN was there. There was just so many places. So I opened, and lucky for me, one of my first clients was Carly Simon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, you know, it was great. There was another woman named Diane Young that also had opened around the same time, and she was on the east side. And because we were the only two, we used to actually call each other and get together and say, how can we do this where we both can, you know, work together somehow? I mean, it was funny. We were even talking about, you know, our toiletries. Maybe we'll order together because we were both, you know, kind of pioneers in doing this. And obviously it caught on. There's over 10,000 day spas now across the country. So.
Right. Well, but you know, I know there were many early celebrities. Working professionals, you know, the estheticians or makeup artists or hair people, they really did just sort of open in locations that put them in the right place at the right time. We sort of call that the intersection of interest.
Exactly.
And so you were actually, you built it rather unique in that you had a kitchen were you actually forming ingredients to make the early products that you made?
Absolutely. You know, I just had an infinity. I just love herbs, and I always have. As a kid, I used to work with, like, things like chamomile. You know, this was when I was a teenager. But I also had this wonderful experience. I went to Europe, and this was right before I opened up the spa. And I met a woman. She's an architect, and she actually wound up helping me create the spa, doing the, you know, she figured out where the room should be, and she was very instrumental. But she took me to a place called the hammam. And have you ever been to a hammam?
I have never been.
Okay, so either had I, but it was like a Turkish bath where they have saunas and steam rooms. So what happens in a city like Paris is that after work, instead of going and having a glass of wine, women would catch up with their friends. They would go into this place called the hammam. They would pay like a really inexpensive entry fee, like $10 to get in. You would be given a robe, some fresh squeezed juice, and they would actually go into the saunas and the steam rooms, and they would do their cold water dunk. And I went there for the first time, and I was mesmerized. I said, there's nothing like this, you know, back in the States. And I thought how, you know, also what I noticed is how comfortable they were with, you know, just sitting around these chairs. Some had clothes on, some didn't. And they actually gave each other body scrubs. So friends would meet, and they would have their loofah sponges. So I thought to myself, you know, if I do something in the beauty industry, I really want to bring this in. And one of the first things I learned how to do was an herbal body wrap. And I wanted to have a little kitchen where I could prep the herbs and prepare everything. And so I kind of did a take on the hammam, but I did it so that we actually wrap the person for them instead of having them, you know, do this self. Now do-it-yourself is so popular, but I think back then it wasn't timely. Right. So that was how the kitchen came to be. I brewed the herbs. You would walk in, and everybody used to say how nice the place smelled because you could smell everything brewing. And you know, we did. We made a lot of our facial care products. Everything was done right there on premise.
That's great. And so was it that sort of began your thinking process with regard to actually making Intelligent SkinSense?
What happened was I had the spa for about 9-10 years, and I sold it, and the person who purchased the spa loved the body wrap, and she said that she couldn't, you know, spend the time making the herbs like I did, and she wasn't able to delegate that out to someone else. So she asked me if there was any way that I could have this product already made for her. And that's how I got started with my first products. I created the body wrap, and so I did it in bulk, and I created enough that I needed to have more than one customer. And I wound up teaching many spas how to do this body wrap, and so that was my very first product was the body wrap professional treatment, and then I created a gel, which is still in my line, called Cell Action Contour Gel, that you would use, as your take-home product.
Right. And so what were the most difficult things as you began getting into that? Because it seems like it was like one step after another. What were some of the obstacles that you experienced as you were beginning to get into actually manufacturing products?
I think the biggest obstacle for me was the fact that when you do your own formulas, you have to order quite a few. So the minimums are fairly high. So then it became more of a business, and a business that I wasn't really familiar with. So that was something I had to grow with and to learn. I wound up creating just this, one product, and the body wrap as well, the professional. And the lab that I created it with actually wound up hiring me, and I worked for them for 7 years, and then I did a lot of product development for this company, and I created a whole spa division for them. So we did private label spa care, and it was sold across the country. And I had gathered so much more experience just being able to do that because I did have to learn the whole distribution part of the industry. And then when that lab got sold, that really pushed me into doing my own products. And at that point, I was able to do the full line, and I had a lot more experience.
Right. And what a great lesson to be able to be in that situation of being able to really understand that part of product development, because so many people think that, the hard part is making it, where in reality the making part of it is the easy part. The more difficult part is actually getting distribution, getting it in the marketplace, and making it at a cost-effective price point. Were there people that were at that lab that sort of helped guide you in that process?
There were, and what happened was when I worked in product development for the lab, there were many times where I would meet with our clients, and they would give us a concept, and then my job was really to find the proper ingredients and bring it all together with the chemist and, our clients and make it make sense for them. And so we did get into the purchasing part, too, where we would help with the purchasing of the packaging. The other thing that I learned and had to pass on this knowledge to people that were making their own products was sometimes the packaging is not compatible with the formula. So people do make mistakes with that. They might put something in a jar that really should have been in a tube. Natural products, don't always do well in plastic. They do better in glass or sometimes aluminum. So there was, many different glitches that could come about when you're developing your own products. And these are things that, luckily for me, working in the lab, I had that direct hands-on experience and learned about the pharmaceutical-grade ingredients and the preservative systems and everything that you really needed to know. By the time I was developing my own product, I really had that information, but I know a lot of people sometimes have to learn through their mistakes, unfortunately.
Right. And so at this point, tell us what Intelligent SkinSense, what does that business look like today?
So, when you're creating a product line, typically you want to, ask yourself, what is the reason to exist? Why have another product line on the market? And that was something that, I asked myself. And what happened is that, as you mentioned, when I was a teen, I had a red area around my mouth and, right around my mouth and under my nose, and otherwise my skin was fine. I never had problems with acne. I didn't break out with blemishes. I was pretty lucky. But this red little circle around my nose and mouth, it embarrassed me as a teenager, and I tried covering up with makeup. I went to dermatologists. They didn't know what it was. And I worked on my own skin with herbs and different things, and I was able to finally calm my skin down, and it went away. But as you said, when I hit 30, it happened again. And I'm like, this is crazy. What is this? Now, at that point, I was an esthetician. I had a lot of information about the skin, and I realized that I had rosacea, and it was never really diagnosed. And what happens with rosacea is that different things can trigger it. So for me, it was my hormones. and my hormones were changing again, so the rosacea came about. So when I was thinking about a skincare line, and I had my spa at the time, I had two in Connecticut, in Westport and Fairfield, Connecticut, I was thinking about what line did I want to bring in, and I knew there were other people like myself that have sensitive skin. It might not be rosacea, it could be eczema, but even acne is a form of sensitive skin, and there's people that have undergone, cancer therapy or different medications, so it creates a sensitivity in the skin. And so I really couldn't find the product line that I wanted, so I decided to create it, and that's how Intelligent SkinSense came to be. It's for people that have the most sensitive skin. Sometimes, it could be fragrance that bothers them or colors in the products or alcohol. So I took all that out, and then I put in things that would really diffuse redness and calm the skin down. And I added the anti-aging properties because at this point I was above 30 and I wanted them for my own skin. So selfishly, I wanted to add that too. So I wanted to have a product that was for sensitive skin but also had the bells and whistles that you're looking for.
And so how long has Intelligent SkinSense been on the market?
So the line was completed in 2010. So it's been about 7 years, yeah.
And what are some of the things that have happened since you launched that has kept it exciting and fresh?
Well, American-made beauty. Because, no, seriously, I've always made my products here. I've always used Native American herbs, that were indigenous to this country. It was very exciting for me to be able to become a part of American-made beauty for that reason. Other things that have happened in the industry that are exciting are things like peptides, ingredients that really speak, and they have high functionality. The alpha hydroxy acids, the peptides, there's some really exciting ingredients that you can see results. So that I love, and it's always changing. You find out new information. You have to sometimes go back to the drawing board and modify your formulas as new information becomes available. And, I'm also happy that a state like California has, paved the way to provide some type of guidelines, because Europe and the UK and some other countries have regulations that we still don't have in place. So I'm hoping to see more and more of that.
Yeah, it's very interesting because, I think that I'm glad to hear you say that you're happy with what the state of California has done. Many people in our industry complain about the higher standards here in California, but the reality is that it makes for better product. So that's really, the exciting part of where the industry is going. How do you keep yourself educated and up to date with what's happening?
Well, I subscribe to so many different publications in the trade industry, so I can find out, what ingredients are being tested, what ingredients, might have changed in terms of contraindications or anything that might happen, preservative systems. And because I still develop my own products and I do work directly with chemists, I'm able to get some firsthand information, which is really great. I stay on top of things like the Prop 65 to make sure that I'm aware of, different ingredients that might have, become a red flag that at one point could have been thought of to be okay, and suddenly new information comes about that says, this ingredient needs to be looked at again. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much what I do. I stay fresh. I go to the trade shows. I attend, seminars, webinars, whatever I can do to keep myself abreast.
Right. Well, and again, it is continuously changing, and one of the things we try and educate people about is that, one of the big differences between the U.S. and internationally is that internationally, in order for a product to be able to go on the market, there is a registration process that occurs, and someone has to verify that you've followed all of the rules. Here in the U.S., we still have rules, but there's no one that's verifying that somebody is following those rules. And I always get excited when I find a brand like yours to bring on to American Made Beauty, because you've done everything right. You've implemented all of the industry's best practices in terms of the research that you've done and the way you present your brand and the claims that you make and all that kind of stuff. That stuff doesn't come easy. Are there times that you feel like you're pulling your hair out to stay on top of it and to do it the right way?
I think, first of all, thank you. And I think that I sometimes, have an issue with expectations, what people's expectations are. I'll give you an example of my husband. I have a great product called Bag Lady. I love this product because it really does help with, under eye puffiness. And that's one of his issues. So he used it, and he expected that within 24 hours, all his under eye circles would be gone,
Right.
So, again, it's managing expectations.
Right, absolutely. All right, well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about that product development process and about some interesting things that Marlene is working on, including oncology aesthetics and the Heart Math Institute. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Shh. Over here. Here's a secret for a virus-free computer. ESET. They've been a pioneer in the antivirus industry for over 25 years. 25 years of innovative, top-rated antivirus protection. ESET's award-winning security solutions provide a safe online experience for over 100 million home and business computer owners. They are so affordable, fast, and simple to use. So be gone, you blue screen of death. ESET's on my computer. If it's not on yours, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on ESET now.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
What does HealthyLife.net and Amazon.com have in common? Well, they're both available on the Internet. They both give great value. But most important, most of our positive program hosts and guests are accomplished authors, and their books are available from, you got it, Amazon.com. Now, it even gets better than that, because when you're listening on air to a HealthyLife.net host or guest, you can go directly to Amazon.com, and you can order your book while you're still listening to your favorite HealthyLife.net program. So when you hear an author you like, go to the homepage of HealthyLife.net and click on Amazon.com.
Where positive people and radio unite. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. This is Patty Schmucker with RadioAMB. And we're here with Marlene Katz of Intelligent SkinSense, and we're talking about how she went from one of the first day spas in New York City to multiple locations, and ultimately acquiring some terrific product development knowledge that allowed her to bring her own brand to market. So, Marlene, tell us a little bit about, before we took the break, you were mentioning about the development of product and managing expectations. Tell us a little bit about what are some of the projects that you're working on right now that you're particularly excited about.
Well, one of the things is I think that people have specific areas that are problematic for them. For some people, it's the eye area. For others, it's the neck. There's many women that complain about cellulite. So in the Intelligent SkinSense line, what we try to do is to have your basic products, which is your basic hair, your cleanse and tone and moisturize, but also to have those products that can deal specifically with a condition of the skin that you might want to see changed. And as I was saying earlier, when I had my spas, one of the great things about being a spa owner is that you are able to meet with your clients and look at their skin and perform, a skin consultation, and then hear what it is that they want to work at, and then you can set out a treatment plan, and you can help to manage those expectations. Mm-hmm. And you were asking earlier about some challenges when you have a product line and now you're selling to other stores, you're selling online. So one of the challenges for me is how can I bring that same experience that one might have in my spa, out to an end user that I might not have met. So One of the things that I've been doing on the website is there's a consultation form that people can fill out themselves, and it will absolutely guide them to the right products. It will ask the same question in 3 or 4 different ways, and the reason I do that is you might ask someone if they have sensitive skin and they might say no. You ask a different question, and it has nothing to do with sensitive skin, but it might talk about things that are what I call skin sensitivities, and they'll answer yes to those questions. So you're helping them to arrive at really what it is about their skin that needs to be addressed. So I did that, and I do a lot with blogs and newsletters and things where I can really educate people. I think when you're looking at a product, and not every product is for everybody, some people, ask questions about preservatives, for instance. They might not want, any preservatives in the product. And that's an expectation that I think is unrealistic, because when you think about it, you've got a product that you've manufactured. It's got to go now on a truck, which has to travel some distance, sometimes in heat, get to the warehouse, get to the stock shelves, get to the store, and then be able to have a shelf life and then, sold to the customer and have another shelf life at their home. So I try to explain this, about why products might have a preservative system. Some products don't need them. If it's a salt, it self-preserves, like a bath salt, that you have. They're self-preserving. A lot of oils are self-preserving. But anything that's a water-based product will have a lot of bacteria if you're not going to put a preservative system in. So these are just things that come up that I try to talk about, and sometimes I do it through a blog forum. Other times I just send out e-newsletters, and I let people ask me questions, and then I answer them.
And so it sounds like a good part of continuing to keep the brand fresh and alive is to provide a lot of education. And the online consultation sounds wonderful as a great way to be able to do that. Now, I've noticed also that you're doing some specific things with oncology aesthetics. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I started, just working with that because my mother had cancer, and she is a survivor, but it affected her skin in such a way that she really just couldn't use anything she was using in the past. Her skin is very, very sensitive, and, it has to do with the treatment. So I was working with her on, different treatments and using different ingredients, and I found out that there were certain things that worked very well on her skin and things that didn't, and I got really interested in it. So I worked with a company called Cancer Care, and now I have just filled out all the information so I can work with the Look Good, Feel Better program that's out of a hospital nearby, because I really feel that, my products are made for the most sensitive skin, and I know that people, even those who have had chemotherapy, would do okay with the product. So I wanted to be able to give back a little bit, volunteer, and, just do as much as I could to help.
Right. And so and is that in any way related at all to the Heart Math Institute, or is that another part?
And the Heart Math, it's interesting you say that, because that is something that I will work with, because one of the Heart Math is more of a experience where you're able to use a specific way of breathing, and we call it getting coherent, where you're able to slow your breath down a little bit so that you can make better decisions and you can lessen your stress. And there is a connection between the skin and people's stress. The skin is like a telltale. It really does tell you, first off, if there's something going on in your body, and your skin might react, and it's a sign that something needs to be addressed. And if you can lessen your stress, you're able to also help manage your skincare, as well, just to have better results. The heart math just is a tool that is something that you can do very easily when you're driving, at home. It doesn't take as long as like sitting down for a 20-minute meditation. Mm-hmm. And I am now becoming a coach for the company, and I will be working as well with people that have undergone cancer therapy, because that's, a very stressful time in people's life.
Right. And isn't it interesting, Marlene, don't you, that as we evolve in your career, particularly started out with aesthetics, but you also studied herbology and the lymphatic system and all of these kinds of things, really understanding that skincare is really wellness. And a lot of people don't think about beauty and that type of thing to have that health perspective, but it sounds like you really put a lot of that into the work that you're doing in all the way around.
Absolutely. I think that, with our lifestyles now, everybody seems to be a little bit time crunched, and we, try to get a lot in. And,
mm-hmm.
Now we have husbands and wives both working and still trying to manage family and everything else. There has to be that time out, where you can just take that time for yourself. And some people have the luxury where they can go into a spa and they could take that time to really unwind and experience a wonderful treatment that will both work on their, beautification, but it also works, like you said, with wellness, your well-being. But then there's people that can't get to the spa, and it could be a budget restraint, it could be a time restraint. So by providing tools like the Heart Math Institute, where people can do these things at home, and also teaching them different types of, rituals that you might have done in a spa, there's a lot of things you can do at home. And I am putting together a little guide, which I'm calling Age Revolution, to help people to be able to experience the spa in the privacy of their own home. And it's going to have little tips about, and things that you could do every single day, because I believe it's what you do every day that really matters the most.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've taught for years to beauty professionals, wellness professionals, and our most important work is exactly what you've done, and that's the education, because what people do every day in the rituals of their lives is where true health care takes place. So it's a very exciting work that you're doing. Congratulations for all of the success that you've had. If someone wanted to get a hold of you and learn more about you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Well, they can email me at mk@intelligentSkinSense.com. MK stands for Marlene Katz, my initials. They can text me at 203-913-8305. We're on Facebook, Intelligent SkinSense on Facebook, and I'll be happy to answer anybody's questions via Facebook as well.
Great. Well, Marlene, thank you so much for being with us, and we're excited to have you as part of American Made Beauty, and that's another place that they can connect with you. So thanks again for taking the time to tell us a little bit about your brand.
Oh, thank you so much, Patty, for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, you'll have an opportunity to meet Lette and our glam blog. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easier for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need, from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
For all your live or pre-recorded webcasting needs, come to earthchannel.com. Get your web-based message out to a select group or the whole world. It's easy. A pioneer in webcasting, earthchannel.com provides the best products and services to big corporations and government users. And now this same technology is available to you. They have the best Earthcast encoders, servers, and products to meet your technical needs. But wait, don't want to mess with technical stress? No problem. They'll do it for you. EarthChannel.com is your answer. You can use webcasting for lots of things like advertising, marketing, customer support, training, and don't forget web radio and TV. In fact, you're listening to a live Earthcast right now. So come to EarthChannel.com. Actualize your audio or video webcasting needs today. You can't beat the friendly service or the price. Call EarthChannel.com at 1-800-849-8978. That's 1-800-849-8978.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
Thanks for staying with us. This is Patty Schmucker, and we're here at RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm delighted to bring to you in the second half of our show, Lette, who has just a really crazy, fun company. Whatever you might call them, be they fake nails, false nails, press-on nails, nail gloves, here you will find personally hand-painted, made-to-order wearable art in a variety of styles. And if you're working with Dee, you don't know exactly what you're looking for, she's got all sorts of different types of style, and she also does customized things. So welcome, Dee. It's terrific to have you with us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
So tell the audience a little bit about your background and exactly the product that you make.
Well, I am a professional licensed nail technician here in Florida, and I specialize in custom press-on nails, and the new thing that everyone's going crazy about are my nail gloves.
And the nail gloves, so you've been doing professional nails for many years, and you decided to make a nail glove, so the artificial nails are attached to a fabric glove.
Yes, and specifically, the rage right now is something that I coined the nude illusion glove, in that from far away, say if you're a performer on stage, it actually appears as though you're not wearing a glove, you're just wearing nails. So it makes it really easy to go full fantasy with a crazy nail, but be able to take it off and not have to deal with it in your daily life.
Uh-huh. And so who was your initial customer? What was the inspiration?
My initial customer and my main customer to this day is our drag queens. They are full-time men that live as women part-time professionally, and so they asked me if there was a way for them to wear nails without actually wearing the nails with adhesive, and so I accepted the challenge.
and it's a really interesting, sort of opportunity, because you're right in that, somebody who's doing that kind of work and fun, part of it's entertainment, they don't want to have to deal with it every day, day in and day out. So this is just a terrific solution.
Absolutely. They already have the cumbersome nature of their business, in which they're having to tear off maybe pounds of makeup at the end of the night, and wigs and costumes and padding. So if I can lessen that, and now they don't need to fight with nail adhesive and things like that, or popping off nails on stage, it's a great thing.
Right. So all of a sudden you find yourself in a situation where you're in the manufacturing business. Tell us what that was like, how that came about.
I just couldn't find the gloves that I wanted, so I had to create it. You find a need, you fill a need. So it just turned it's turned into, I guess, manufacturing, and now I'm manufacturing, distributing, and selling everything myself here in my little home. Yeah, it's been quite a transition, but I'm excited about it. I'm thankful for it.
What's been the best part of creating the brand?
This is the first time I've been involved with many businesses over the years, but this is the first time that I can say this is all mine. It was my vision. It feeds a strange obsession and fetish. It's therapeutic. It's artistic. It's really bringing my life to the next level, mentally, emotionally. It's wonderful.
Right. And do you feel that long-term it would be something that the audience will expand out to be more mainstream?
I do think there's a market for it. I mean, it is a very small little niche product and idea, but I definitely think there's a market for it. I think there's definitely ways that it can expand. There are lots of people out there that want a temporary solution to be able to wear something outrageous but it not be permanent.
Right, right. And so as you see your business really feeding your creativity and your spiritual and taking you to the next level, what's some of the difficult parts of building the business?
Currently, I feel a lot that I'm creating in a vacuum. I am just one person. And right now, transitioning to a full-fledged business where maybe I need to replicate myself or hire other people, that's proving very challenging for me at this moment.
Yeah. And so what kinds of resources do you call on that's helping you make some of those decisions and find those people?
I've reached out to social media. Obviously, I initially went out to my inner circle, even friends of mine that I went to cosmetology school with that I know are artistic and have technical ability, to see if maybe they could come and help me on a part-time basis. And I do have someone that comes, once a week. But I think after this convention that I'll be participating in this weekend, I might have to go to the more traditional routes and maybe use online or even Craigslist and try to hire some people.
Right. And, the other one, and because you're in Florida, being able to find some interns that either from the beauty schools and or, the colleges. So that's also a great place to find those people that can help you sort of figure out how to get the production beyond your own self and getting, cloning yourself. That's probably one of the most difficult parts of it.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, that's actually really brilliant. I didn't even think about that. And it's very difficult to think about replicating yourself. And also, typically us entrepreneurs, we're control freaks, so letting go of some of the process is hard.
Yeah, and what we find a lot of times when we're working with brands that are sort of at this stage is really being able to think about putting your systems in writing, figuring out what is it that you do that is non-negotiable. Like you were talking about the way the gloves are. I would guess that you've got some specific standards in terms of the adhesion of the plates, the nail plates onto the gloves. So anything you can do to sort of document and write down those non-negotiables, that'll make it a lot easier when the time comes to be able to, transition and give somebody else the instructions on how to do this in your absence.
No, I totally agree, and that's something that I wasn't even thinking about in the beginning because it's a dream that your business will take off, but you may not believe it might actually take off, and it does. When it does, it happens a lot faster than you expect. And so I didn't write down a lot of the things that I'd stumbled through in the beginning, and now I find myself going back and having to write down those processes, even just for myself.
Right. Well, and the other piece that I think is really interesting is that you're open. Because a lot of people, as they're beginning this process and really thinking about, how I didn't think it was going to grow, but now it is. Now what do I do? Being coachable is something that's really important. And no matter where you are here in the United States, another piece that I always recommend is Small Business Development Center, SBDC. In every city around the United States, our government has resources that are set up to help small business, free of charge. You can contact your local, just look up online your closest SBDC, and they have counselors in all sorts of different types of businesses that, free of charge to you, will meet with you one-on-one and give you some guidance. Just sort of write down your pain points. some guidance on some of the ways that they can help you build your brand as well.
Gosh, that would be wonderful because I need some mentorship at this moment.
Oh yeah, and I love the fact that you see that, because that's going to make a huge difference in the way you grow your business. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more with Dee about what inspires her and what are some of the things that she's hoping to do in the next few years as she grows the business. We'll work together to sort of help create her vision. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap state. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
Oh, man, it never fails. My suitcase just got ripped apart.
Life is a journey. Make it a pleasant one. Use Samsonite. You know the name. For almost a century, Samsonite luggage has proved itself to be the worldwide leader in innovative travel solutions. Let it be yours. Visit HealthyLife.net's affiliate Samsonite on our homepage and click to look at the fine luggage from suitcases to golf travel bags. And don't forget, take a look at their travel accessories. Make life a journey, a pleasant one, with Samsonite.
HealthyLife.net, where positive overcomes negative.
Welcome back. This is Patty Schmucker, and you're here with us on RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. And I have the distinct pleasure of being here with a woman who I'm going to let her tell you her name, because I'm going to start with what her company name is, and I didn't say it earlier, and that's Unicorn's Poop Glitter. So, Dee, tell us a little bit about your pronunciation of your name as well as company name.
So my name is Lette. However, people do call me V, as in the letter V. And the company is unicornspoopglitter.com.
And how did you get to that? Unicorns Poop Glitter.
I'm a bit silly. I'm a bit whimsical, and since far back as I can remember, I've been obsessed with two things, and that's unicorns and nails. So when I was thinking about creating a business name, I just disregarded every marketing and branding rule that I knew, and I went with a business name that I thought would be interesting and intriguing. And to quote Seth Godin, like the purple cow, I mean, people might be curious, and they might check in on me just out of curiosity. So I just went with it.
That's great. So for our audience that probably doesn't know Seth Godin, great mentor, tell us a little bit about, is he one of those people that inspires you, and how did you, what are some of the things that you got from reading his material?
Oh, my gosh. I read his book, The Purple Cow, many, many, many years ago on a business trip, and it still sticks with me. Just the beginning of the forward of the book about it, he discussed his children were in the back of the car in the countryside in France, and they were quiet, and all of a sudden they started talking about this crazy cow, and this cow was purple. And they went home and told their friends, and then they traveled back even home further, and they told their friends and their family. And he said, it doesn't matter if it's bad, it's good, if it's purple and it's crazy, people will talk about it. And that's what you need to do. And so I just thought, well, this will be my purple cow. I'll be strange and silly, and people might turn their faces at it, but at least they're going to talk about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so when you, at this point, as you begin to, we talked in the earlier segment that you're, at that point where the business is really taking off and you're trying to figure out how to scale it and move it to the next step. Tell us a little bit about what, if in a perfect world, where would you like to take it in the next few years?
I would love to be able to actually manage my orders because right now I'm always in a state of drowning. So I would like to have some people that I could basically put on an assembly line and create all of the first steps, and then maybe I could put the magic on top, the finished embellishment, or even get it to the point where I have some artistic staff members that can do some of the basic orders and free me up to grow the business and focus on those really yummy, delicious custom orders that I get from the celebrities that I need to put 2-3 days, even a week into.
So you, right now, and that makes sense. So you want to be able to, number one, manage your orders. Right now you're at capacity, so you're constantly trying to catch up. And the first, if you had a wish list, it would be that somebody could do some of the basic work, and then you would go back and do the embellishments. But you also would be interested in somebody who had an artistic flair that could create some of their own concepts as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open. I try very hard not to have too much ego in this because that's what will stop you. So I'm open to collaborating or partnering with another artist and saying these gloves are inspired by or created by this person,
Right, absolutely.
But again, I'm limited.
You've got certain styles that have become some of your standards. What's your top three?
My top three right now, no question, hands down, from top to bottom, would be the diamantes, which are all rhinestones. These women just want to be one giant chunk of glass walking down the street. That's just never enough. And then the second is what I call the naked, and those are just clean and nude and classic, and they come in different shapes. And then the third would be something called a glass, which is a sheer, tinted, comes in really fun candy colors.
Okay. And so those you're able to sort of make those, and there's not a whole bunch of change that you need to make. You can just make those in advance and have them in stock. Is that right?
Yes. In fact, even the upsells that I've integrated, I eventually now pretty much know how the three of them are going to go down. And if I needed to and someone was in the house with me, I could probably do a paint by numbers on a mannequin hand and they could recreate it.
Oh, got it. Now, but what about sizes? Do you have different sizes for the hands?
Currently, my gloves are one size for ease. I do have 3 different types of gloves in there. They are meant for different types of hands. If you have a larger hand, you might not fit into one of the types of gloves. But again, one of the future plans or dreams would be that I can be full-fledged custom and offer a small, medium, and large, and really be able to maybe, find a manufacturer to knock out some gloves for me.
Right, exactly. So that would be another part of your wish list is a U.S. manufacturer that can work with you to actually give you more options for the gloves themselves.
Yes, and specifically U.S. because I would love to keep everything here.
Okay, great. Now, talk to us about the customized stuff because you're getting more and more demand in terms of celebrities that are wanting you to do something for specifically. How does that work?
Initially, that's how I started. I actually I used guerrilla marketing, and I reached out to trendsetters and celebrities that maybe I could access, or I harassed them to the point where they would pay attention to me. And I started sending them things that I would create for them custom, that maybe their look would inspire in me. But now that has brought me to the point where I'm getting contacted all the time by celebrities that need something for a custom look or a show or a photo shoot. And those things take time because you can get creatively spent and not have anything left.
Right.
So it's hard to manage that at the same time of juggling all of these orders and making sure that I'm still providing good service to my clients.
Right. Because you're still doing clients in the clinic as well in the salon.
No, that I've foregone. It's just me now. I've very limited social interaction now. It's just me in my studio with my nails.
Yeah. So, it is a process that to be able to keep up with it all. And how do you deal with that? How do you, keep yourself organized and moving the business in a forward direction?
Gosh, that's a good question. Sometimes I don't know. A few of my friends have referred to me as a machine. Mm-hmm. I think, I am a bit older. I'm not in my 20s. It's been a while since I've been in my 20s. So I have a laser-like focus on what needs to happen, very self-disciplined. And if I have to function on no sleep to make the dream work, then that's what I'll do.
Right. Well, and those are some of the work ethics that is so necessary in these early stages. As I work with brand owners, again, who are at the stage that you're at, I often say to them that, building a brand is like raising a child. And in the early stages, it needs food, which is basically you're feeding it with money and it needs love, which is your time and attention. And there's nothing that can replace those things. Those are things that are absolutely necessary in that stage. And you're sort of moving into that place where the business is becoming a toddler, and now it has mobility. It has the needs that it has to be able to survive is entirely different than when it was an infant.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a terrible twos right now. I'm constantly running around trying to grab it and calm it down, and it's like, no.
Absolutely, but it's a great analogy because it's exactly where the business is at, and being able to get that discipline, laser-like focus is so important. Congratulations for what you've done and the progress that you've made up to this point. If somebody wanted to reach out and learn more about what you're doing, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Well, you can check out the website, unicornscoopofglitter.com. On Instagram, I am vi.lette, and on Facebook, I'm Unicorns Poop Glitter.
So Unicorns Poop Glitter. So, Vi, thank you. Thanks for taking the time to be with us today and giving us a chance to share your story. We'd love to hear how progress continues to grow.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Great. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Don't miss us next week as I meet with Beth Christie of Sure Tint to learn about how technology is helping hair color. And we'll also meet Bright Pink, an organization helping to educate people about cancer. So stay with us next week. Send us your comments and questions to requests at American Made Beauty. Thank you for listening to Radio AMB, where we think pretty is pretty important in all things in beauty.